we're watching two screens here. We've got these negotiations going on between CPS and CTU for a contract to get underway. At the same time, there's all this debt and borrowing and refinancing and loans that is getting talked about as well. Can you talk about how these things are actually interdependent?
Unfortunately, many of the finances of CPS are intertwined with the city of Chicago. Keep in mind that back in 1995, when Mayor Daley at the time went to the Illinois State Legislature to get control of CPS, a lot of things were kind of brought together in the sense of trying to keep things making things work. Today, we're unwinding a lot of that process. So while we have things that the city is doing to the tune of almost $1.25 billion in support to CPS, there are certain things that they need to do in order for us to continue working in a harmonious way.
And I mentioned the things about the loan. We have the mayor who wants the district to pick up $175 million pension payment. Those are for non-teaching staff. And that's got to happen by the end of March, or the city either has to go into its reserves or end the year in the red. I guess a couple things about that. How critical is that? And number two, is the mayor right in expecting the school district to pick this up?
So let's keep in mind the school district has picked up this charge for the last 5 years, beginning back in 2020. They began to pick this up as we talked about the unwinding of CPS finances with the city of Chicago. But keep in mind that the city of Chicago, the total obligation of CPS is $452 million. And the city's asking them for $175 million when originally, according to the schedule, it was to be $300 million. So we have taken some considerable pains in reducing the liability that they really owe us. That's their responsibility. Again, asking for a little over a quarter of what it is that they owe for their employees that the city does not control. We don't control their salary. We don't control anything about the cost of them, but we're just constantly getting a bill for this. So again, I think the 175 is actually a pretty good deal for CPS.
And by the way, as we know, half the school board elected, it'll eventually all be elected. There are those who think that once the school board is completely elected, that's going to change the dynamics as to who should be responsible for what. You agree with that?
I do believe that once those dynamics do change, that the city wants, it's like saying, hey, I want half the cow. No, you take